Yes, that is right. After an absolutely insane 5th episode of WandaVision with some crazy stuff going on, we are back once again for WHO DAT DEVIL episode 5, where of course we try and figure out who is secretly Mephisto, Marvel's devil, in WandaVision, because we're all theorizing that he is the main villain, he is the one behind all of this. So we gotta solve this mystery. So, let's split up, gang, and, look at our suspects. And this episode had some interesting stuff going on here. Some possibilities of Mephisto sightings. The first of which being Director Hayward. Because Director Tyler Hayward, we've been suspicious of him since last week's episode 4, when we were first introduced to that character. Like, literally, as soon as I saw that character, I was like, he's sus. Like, there's no way that guy is not evil. Like, he's got to have some sort of ulterior motives. But we were all theorizing that maybe he is Mephisto, and that Mephisto has disguised himself as, Director Hayward, which would be really cool. And then also that, kind of side note here, that also got me thinking, like, oh, what if that was actually a Skrull? Because Skrulls, with their secret invasion, which we know is happening with the Disney Plus series, one of the biggest things they do is they try to get, like, high-ranking positions. So, Director of Sword, that'd be a great position for him to possibly be a Skrull. But what if he is not Mephisto and not a Skrull? If he's just some random guy that was a good old sword agent until one bad day where something happened, something went wrong, but then the devil, Mephisto, came to him, and for some reason, he had to make a deal with the devil. He had to make a deal with Mephisto. And what's making me think this is because in episode 5, we saw that Director Hayward was completely against Wanda, and he was literally like, take the shot. Like, it seemed like he wanted her dead. So why, if he was Mephisto, why would he want her dead? Because, Mephisto is the one that did all of this to her. So what if maybe he made a deal with the devil, and now he regrets this because he's not all a big bad guy after all. And he regrets that. And then he thinks, all right, what can I do to hide the evidence and make sure that nobody finds out that I literally made a deal with the devil? Well, the devil's plan was all about Wanda. So what if we just eliminate Wanda from the situation? Then all my problems would be solved. So that is definitely a possibility there, kind of what I was thinking about with Director Hayward, because there's definitely something suspicious going on with him. But again, I don't think he is Mephisto, but I think maybe he did make a deal with the devil, which is definitely totally a huge possibility there. Now, this next part I'm going to talk about, I just want to give a huge major spoiler warning. I mean, if you're watching this, you've probably seen episode 5 by now anyway. But just, if you for some reason have not, do not watch this video, because that ending, we're talking about that ending, that surprise cameo. So, yeah, here it is. Quicksilver. This was a crazy moment. I mean, we knew Quicksilver was going to show up at some point. We've been hearing so many rumors and leaks, and I got super excited when we saw that shot of him from the back of his head, and how he had the, actual Quicksilver hair. And I noticed that it was specifically stylized like the Aaron Taylor Johnson Quicksilver hair, so that made me even more excited. And then when it was revealed that it was Evan Peters as Quicksilver, of course I was a little disappointed, because I definitely prefer to have Aaron Taylor Johnson. But Quicksilver is back, and that's the crazy thing to think about. But how? That's the big question. Like, how is Quicksilver back, and why does he look like Evan Peters? Well, it could be that somehow the MCU's version of Quicksilver has been somehow brought back to life in a similar way to Vision, except Vision was a robot and Wanda stole his body, so that's how that happened. So I don't really know how Quicksilver could have got brought back to life, but then it could be explained for the recast part that, like on sitcoms, that was a classic thing to do, is that they would just randomly recast actors and not even bring it up in the show. And as Darcy said, oh, she recast Pietro? So that could totally be something there as well. But then there is also the possibility that this is the actual version of Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men films. But I don't really think so, because he is acting very different from that version of Quicksilver. And again, he has the hair like Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver. So I don't know about that. But what if he isn't Quicksilver at all? Because even Wanda was like, I don't know, like she didn't even recognize him at first, and she was surprised to see him at the door, because we know she controls a lot in this reality, but that was not something that she did. Somebody else sent Quicksilver in there and brought him back to life. But what if it isn't Quicksilver again? What if this is actually Mephisto? Because this is something months ago, when we first found out that Evan Peters was going to be in WandaVision, that he was cast in the series, we all theorized that, obviously he's going to be Quicksilver. But then when we started thinking about it, oh, that'd be too crazy. But then now that I think about it, that wouldn't really be too crazy. But then we got thinking, like, what if he is actually the villain of the series? What if he is Mephisto? Because he's had a lot of work with horror in, I think, American Horror Story. I think that's where it is. So he can play some very villainous characters. So a lot of people assume that maybe he would be playing Mephisto, and I think he would be great in that role. And there's actual like fan art and everything out there of Evan Peters as Mephisto. So what if he is here to trick Wanda to thinking that is Quicksilver, that is Pietro, just to gain her trust even more, when that actually is Mephisto? Because as we saw at the end of the episode, Pietro had no idea who Vision was, so that's another thing that makes me think it's not regular Pietro. But also, it just seems like it's going to cause more of a divide between Wanda and Vision is the one that's questioning things more and more and distracting Wanda from this perfect reality. So it definitely seems like something that Mephisto would want to do. So I do not think that this is the real Quicksilver. I do think that this is possibly Mephisto. Then again, I could be wrong, but also you never know. But guys, let me know down in the comments below all your theories. Who do you think is that devil? What do you think about my theories? Do you think Director Hayward made a deal with the devil? Do you think Quicksilver is not actually Quicksilver, but actually Mephisto? So let me know in the comments below. Stay tuned for my episode review and breakdown next week, as well as Who Dat Devil episode 6. So thanks much for watching. Please